Afternoon, friends. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. I'm doing well myself. Today, I'm going to talk about letting go of being a control freak. I'm not going to claim I have let go of being a control freak. I have spent my life trying to let go of being a control freak, more pointedly in the last several years due to circumstances, but it has always been a problem for me because I like to. I Most of us like to have things our way or the way we like them around us, but some of us are kind of obsessed with it, or it affects our demeanor, or it affects how happy we are if we're not able to control things around us. And I'm one of those people who has to have my environment just so. Things have to be just this way. They even need to be done a certain way, and things like that. And it's not a healthy way to be because it can cause you moments of unhappiness that are just unnecessary. If you could be more casual and relaxed and it doesn't have to be that way, then you would be happier. So letting go of some of those obsessions or those trying to control things is better for you. And I have had to make some adjustments along the way. um, I I tend to put things in certain places, some things a certain way. I do things a certain way to have them outcome the way I want it to be. And people have laughed at, oh, you're so, or they think they're my idiosyncrasies or my odd way of doing things, or if I can't explain why it has to be like, it just has to be like that. And it's because of what works for me and what makes me comfortable and things like that. Um, how I've had difficulties is I've always had trouble with roommates. I really don't recall growing up because I always never had my own room except for my senior year of high school. But I had occasions growing up that I remember once I went to summer camp and that it had all these rows of bunks and everybody had bunks, and I had this one bed against the wall, and I did special things to make it my spot and just so and stuff like that, whereas everybody else just had their bed and their stuff um, on the bed. They didn't have this whole setup kind of thing. So it's like I had to control my environment to make it comfortable to me, kind of thing, and probably came across as a little odd and stuff like that. Um, but I've always struggled. I had roommates in college and I had roommates after college, not able to afford my own place. And I had a very hard time living with other people. I normally, when I live with people, I concede to what they want. I let them control how things are. I, I pretty much disappear into myself, or my personality disappears. It's even with some friends. I I don't have friends so much anymore because I'm not gonna hang out with somebody doing what they want all the time when it's something I don't even like to do or listen to their music or what they like. I'm not gonna be friends with people unless I have similar interests. So I've have gotten more rigid in some ways that I'm just not going to concede myself. And that's what I did with roommates. I completely conceded myself and did what they wanted in the apartment, how they wanted. And I was not happy. I was not happy. And um, I, I've just had difficulty with that with roommates. And so I'm much happier. Even I lived with my mom for years, and although we tried to live as roommates and equals, when you live with your mom, you're still the kid, and things like that. So again, I conceded on everything. Things were not my way. Um, Interestingly, we bought a trailer house together, and she said I could pick the decor, but it was blue, and that was her color. So we did half that. At least my bedroom was pink and my bathroom was pink, but the trailer itself was everything was blue, uh, because that's how I do things. Even though I need it the way I want it, I give too much in myself, and so I just prefer not to live with other people because then I can do my own thing and have it my way and stuff. But I also one thing like I don't think I would have made. I don't have children. I don't think I would have made the best mother in some way. I would have struggled with being a mother because I would have had a heck of a time letting kids learn how to do stuff. I would have wanted kids to do their chores. I would want them to learn how to do stuff to grow to be independent so they'd know how to do things I didn't know how to do when I got off to college. I would want that. But I know just from an example, one time I had my nieces and nephew come visit me and I took them grocery shopping and I had a heck of a time because my one niece is a helper. She wanted to help and I did things so controlled in how I put things in the cart, how I took them out of the cart, how I bagged them. I did everything exactly so and it was so hard to have these kids randomly pulling everything out of the cart, putting it mishmash any old way on the conveyor belt, this way, that way, and then putting it in the bags, because they haven't been taught don't put the eggs on the bottom of the bag kind of thing and stuff. But it was very hard to not yell at them to stop that or make them quit helping. I did not want to dampen their spirit of being helpful and things. So I would have struggled even watching, family members with kids, there are different ways they did things. Some had a hard time just letting them, because the kid's learning, they're going to mess it up. They're not going to do it right. And you got to show them how to do it in the first place. I did show them how I liked my groceries done. So it was more orderly, but it was rather difficult at first. I was practically having a panic attack in the store. Oh my God, don't touch my stuff, kind of thing. So I do like to control how things are done. And if anybody else is helping me or doing it, standing there and watching is really hard and stuff. I do think I've never been married. I've never even been in a long-term relationship, and I don't think I could manage one because I can't imagine having to do that day after day, listen to somebody else's opinion and how things should be in the house and the colors and the decor and the watching what we're watching on TV. I really would not want to have to do that. So I don't think I'd make a very good spouse or relationship person because I did not enjoy being a roommate because I did not like having to give up. Of course, I went too far. I gave up all the decision making and all the factors with the roommates, so hopefully if I did end up in a relationship or married, I would have grown enough to stand up for myself. But um, I just find it easier to do it my way, and you can do it your way if there's nobody else there. Except I also even having a cat makes you have to give up a lot of control things. I do have a cat, and you cannot control a cat at all. You can, some cats you can train them to not go on certain places or do certain things to a certain degree, not 100%, but and some cats aren't as interested in going certain places or doing certain things. The cat I have right now, she's the most stubborn cat on the planet, so any argument is not over until she wins. And when she came here, she was not allowed on most of the surfaces, higher up surfaces, particularly the dresser where the TV is. I've seen enough cat videos breaking TVs to know I don't want mine on the dresser. And also, uh, I have a lot of knickknacks, so other areas she's not been allowed on. And I also had a previous cat who liked to be up high. She likes to be up high. The cat I have right now likes to be up high. And I had a previous cat who liked to be up high, but he was an overweight, lazy Persian. So he was limited as far as where he could jump and how high he could get. He had to use his brains and how to get up things, go up this way, this way, this way. Then I can maybe get up that high. But the cat I have now, she can get as anywhere she wants to get in this apartment, she can get there. And she's very stubborn. So keeping her off is very difficult. So I can't control the cat, where she goes and what she does. luckily she does not, she's not one of those cats who just shoves everything off the shelves, because if she was one of those cats, it would be worse. She can get through shelves without, she hardly ever knocks things over. That doesn't mean I want to take the chance with her knocking the TV over or something like that. But anyway, it is hard having a, a cat and trying to control what happens in the apartment, and stuff. Just as it is if there's another person. I call us battling roommates. The cat and I are battling roommates because we both have strong wills about what will and will not take place in this apartment. But so the biggest challenge for me with the controlling how things are done in the apartment or how they look in the apartment has been my health deteriorated to where in 2019 I started needing help coming in with some of the housekeeping and grocery shopping and different things. And I'm so rigid in how what I want purchased. I'm so rigid in how I want things done. The result to be, it has been quite an adjustment. One, I couldn't get people to actually do the job, so they weren't even doing the bare minimum. I do have an excellent worker now. She's the absolute best and stuff, but it's still so difficult because you cannot control other people. You can't say go do this and they will go do it because they're not you. They have a different opinion, they have a different concept of things. So even if you think you've given every possible detailed description of what you want them to do and how you want them to do it, what they come up with is amazing. It is not what you envisioned at all. And so I get some pretty interesting results. I was like, how did you do that from what I told you to do? So it has been losing the independence of doing everything myself, because I used to do everything myself. Did all my, well, I did everything myself. I lived by myself. I did my own shopping. I did everything independently. And I've had to let go of so much of that because I just physically cannot do it anymore. A lot of the stuff. And I've had to rely on other people to do stuff. And it's been an adjustment. And so the ways to learn to be less controlling with how things are done or has worked for me is acceptance. I've had to accept that I cannot control what people will or won't do, or even if they're willing to do it, what results they're going to have. And no matter how you tell them to do things, it's not going to be as if you did it yourself. And so acceptance has been a big thing like that. And of course, life is easier if you can concede to a stubborn cat. Some things you just gotta, you're not gonna win. And so the cat goes where the cat wants to go for the most part, except that I do have a new TV. So the battle to stay off the dresser has renewed intensely. But the second thing I've done to deal with it is to simply go after them and change it the way I want it after they leave. If it's something simple I can do, like just leaving things turned the wrong direction or in the wrong spot, or, because I don't want to be constantly nagging, oh, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you did that wrong. When it's little things, it's like you gotta pick your battles and you gotta decide, is that something worth mentioning and possibly making the person feel bad or angry. I don't want that. I need their cooperation. So I've had to learn to just, let them do what they're going to do, and then I'll just fix it afterwards. Because what I physically can't do, at least if they do the basics in the preliminary of cleaning things, I can I can do some adjusting there. I can still do some things, so I can follow around and go behind and do things. Um, as far as adjusting to the cat, I have what I have called cat paths, which means, I tell people, I go, my place is nothing's balanced, nothing's feng shui, nothing maybe even looks aesthetically good, but there are reasons why things are, it has to sit here, because if the cat goes through, she's going to knock it over, or possibly because this is what she uses as a cat path or a place where she goes. So I have had to adjust like my knickknacks and things like that to cat pals. This is where the cat goes, or you can't put anything here. Like I have one shelf is like people want to put stuff there. I was like, you can't put nothing there. That's a cat spot, and that kind of thing. So that's the adjustments to a cat, simple ones. But you do have to get used to it and give up certain spots, and be okay with her being in certain spots that you just can't get her to not go there. If it's a cat who can jump anywhere and get anywhere and they like to be up high, then they're going to be on more things. The last cat I had in between the Persian and her, he didn't care about being up high at all. He never jumped on anything anywhere. So I had zero problem with that at all. He didn't get on anything. So it was not a problem. But the cat I have now, she likes to be up high. She likes to go everywhere, and she does. And then the last thing is if it's not something I can move or change, I've learned to just accept the difference. Just to like with the cat, you accept it and then get over it. You just, it's not as picky as I get about some things or obsessed as I get with some things. I have had to learn to let it go, and get over it. And that has been the biggest benefit if I can let it go. Some things I haven't been able to let go, but the more things I can let go and just not be so obsessive or controlling about how it has to be, the happier I am. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.